You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week. California's utility regulator proposes cuts to solar credits, sparking concerns about the future of rooftop solar. And in 10 on Your Side, we look into the issue of potholes and get answers from those in charge. Then we hit the back roads. John Bartel takes us to San Diego County, where a flower bloom attracts hundreds of thousands of people. ABC10 Plus This Week starts now. A Sacramento County deputy has been fired after new disturbing video. Look at that. Shows a woman being pushed to the ground after her release from jail. The case sparked outrage, and tonight one prominent civil rights attorney says a firing is simply not enough.
ABC 10's Garshpal Sangha talked with the attorney and the sheriff's office tonight.
You're gonna be reported.
Caught on camera. What started as a routine jail release ends with the woman on the ground and the deputy under investigation.
Sheriff Cooper terminated his employment effective March 14th, so he's no longer employed with us.
The incident happened back in October. Video shows Arania Tim Hardy asking questions about her release paperwork. Then after conversations, one deputy tells her to stop talking. Moments later, she is pushed out the door and falls to the sidewalk.
Obviously, these types of actions don't uphold the values of standards of any law enforcement agency, much less the sheriff's office.
The family's attorney, Mark Marin, says Tim Hardy has not recovered from that incident.
And she landed on the sidewalk, fractured her femur, and was left there.
Marin says Tim Hardy suffers from mental illness and was held for 2 days and then released at midnight. He adds she spent nearly 2 months in the hospital and missed her husband's final days.
Her family didn't know about it until later. Her husband had previously been hospitalized in palliative care and died during the time that she was hospitalized.
The sheriff's office confirmed the deputy fired is named Matthew Gurridge, but Marin says accountability cannot stop at one firing.
Yes, more should be terminated and more should be tried criminally for their criminal conduct.
And while this case is gaining attention, Marin says it is far from isolated.
What's not typical is that it's now on camera. We actually see it.
Attorney Marin says Tim Hardy's family is working to get her back to Canada. He also adds that a claim has been filed and that sometimes next week a civil rights complaint will be filed against those involved. Reporting from the Sacramento County Main Jail, Garshpal Sangha, ABC 10.
Young volunteers who help respond to natural disasters and assist local communities have been told by the Trump administration they are no longer needed. They are part of AmeriCorps' National Civilian Community Corps, or NCCC. The cuts were reportedly made by President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen shows us the impacts that these cuts will have in the greater Sacramento region.
I joined after college when I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and it opened up so many doors and led me to continue a life in public service.
As a former staff member of the AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps, Griff Ryan Roberts says his time with NCCC had a profound impact on his life. The program allows people ages 18 through 26 to work with nonprofits and community organizations to help during natural disasters or volunteer in their local communities.
Working out along the American River Parkway, so the American River Parkway Foundation partnered with AmeriCorps and NCCC folks all the time. So they would be doing river cleanups, removing invasive species.
According to the Associated Press, this week the Department of Government Efficiency notified volunteers they would no longer be needed. AmeriCorps' budget for the 2025 fiscal year shows the NCCC program was allotted nearly $42.5 million and will pay members $13 an hour.
This is not a very large agency, not a very large program. These members receive a living stipend.
Since 2015, the American Parkway Foundation has partnered with AmeriCorps to help clean the trails. The Parkway Foundation says AmeriCorps volunteers work with them once a year for 8 to 10 weeks at a time. With these cuts, the Parkway Foundation says there will be a notable impact for people who visit the trails.
Last year in 2024, specifically with trails, we were able to clear 12 miles. And I think if we look back at those numbers, AmeriCorps was responsible for about 4 or 5 of those miles. And so without AmeriCorps, we're going to definitely have less of those miles done.
California Volunteers is a state commission that helps administer certain AmeriCorps programs. A spokesperson tells us the state hasn't received any guidance from AmeriCorps, but will remain committed to serving California. In Sacramento, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
We reached out to AmeriCorps for comment, but have not received a response yet.
Spring is here, but after an active rainy season with a mixture of heavy rain, downed trees, and standing water, roads across the area have taken a beating. Alan sent these pictures to 10 on Your Side showing potholes on Fulton Avenue. And Stephen reached out to 10 on Your Side saying, I contacted the city because of the horrible potholes on the street we live on, Pebblewood Drive. So what's taking so long to fix those potholes?
So our street maintenance division, we are really trying to tackle as much as we can. We are understaffed.
The city of Sacramento released this statement saying they manage over 3,000 lane miles of streets, making it one of the largest municipal street networks in California. Many of these roads are over a century old. With limited funding compared to need, the city prioritizes pavement repair based on a strategic, data-driven approach.
Yeah, so it's going to depend on traffic. We try to hit the areas that are near schools, hospitals, and our high traffic zones.
The city told us residential streets make up 63% of the city's total lane miles. Many of these need repairs, but with current funding levels, it would cost $52 million annually for the next 10 years to bring residential streets up to a level of good.
As of right now, we're in the fair range. But it's also going to depend on where you're at. Some streets are worse than others, and we're trying to tackle it as best as possible.
The city does tell 10 on Your Side they plan to send a crew to evaluate the pavement surface condition on Pebblewood Drive and patch any potholes found. Meanwhile, when it comes to possible damage to your vehicle,
if damages are caused by a pothole, they can submit a claim to the city, and it will go through the claim process. Each case is looked at case by case.
If you need to submit a street maintenance request, you can call 311 within city limits. And don't forget, ABC10 is here to help. Do you have a problem and don't know where else to turn? Email me at onyourside@abc10.com.
Have been encouraged to go solar. Families have been offered incentives and programs, but now the state's public utility regulator is proposing another cut to solar credits. Solar advocates say that this could be the final blow to rooftop solar in California. ABC10 anchor Laura Painter explains what this means for the future of solar and customers' bottom line.
The PUC is laying the groundwork, the Public Utilities Commission, to absolutely kill all solar programs in California.
The state's public utility regulator, the California Public Utilities Commission, is proposing more cuts to electric bill solar credits people with rooftop solar can earn. The CPUC says rebalancing is needed, arguing rooftop solar customers don't pay their fair share of costs needed to maintain the power grid. The CPUC introduced the cuts in response to Governor Gavin Newsom's order aimed at addressing rising electricity bills. But solar advocates say these cuts could be the final blow to rooftop solar in California.
It pencils out for the utilities quite well. The utilities are going to be making profits hand over fist, and extra money that, frankly, they are not entitled to.
Loretta Lynch, president of the CPUC in the early 2000s, says recent reductions of solar incentives by the commission have already made it harder for rooftop solar to make sense for California families, while PG&E is reporting record profits. Lynch says if this proposal becomes a reality and solar incentives are further reduced, solar customers run out of options for where to put the extra power they generate.
What does this signal to the customers, and what impact could it have on the future of solar in California?
Already the solar industry is hurting because of the changes that the PUC's made in the last 2 years. But this will be the final stake in the heart of the solar industry.
California is currently the largest solar state in the nation, with enough solar capacity to power 15 million homes, according to the Solar Energies Industry Association. They also predict California will lose its spot as the top solar state to Texas by 2027. Rooftop solar advocates like Bernadette Del Chiaro with the California Solar and Storage Association say strong incentives are needed to encourage people to spend thousands of dollars on rooftop solar systems the state has mandated be installed on new homes. The mandate has been in place since 2020.
They're trying to change the policy and claw back savings from people that have gone solar to date.
Del Chiaro says that adds up to about 2 million Californians. Many, she says, are middle and working class.
Could this proposal set the state back in its solar energy goals?
Taxing solar panels is the polar opposite thing of what California should be doing. We need more solar energy, more clean energy, more clean air. We need an abundance of energy to bring prices down, and we need competition in the marketplace to get PG&E to stop treating consumers like an ATM machine.
Up until the past few years, solar customers in California have been paying lower electricity rates thanks to California's net metering program, which was created in 1995. This program allows customers to connect to a utility's power grid and transfer power they don't use in exchange for credit on their bill. According to the CPUC's latest proposal, a monthly grid participation charge of $8 per kilowatt would be added to these customers' bills.
Why this? Why now?
That is the trillion-dollar question. Solar customers being able to generate their own electricity is an existential threat to the utilities. Because if you can make electricity, then they don't sell it to you. You don't have to buy it from them at these exorbitant prices. And the less they sell, the less money they make.
A well-known California economist and energy policy specialist, Dr. Richard McCann, argues PG&E rates are increasing because their spending is increasing.
The relationship between this spending and recovery of those costs is one-to-one, virtually one-to-one with the rate increase. In other words, rates are rising in direct tandem with increased utility spending.
McCann's research also finds rooftop solar has helped keep peak electricity demand flat for 20 years, thanks in part to customers spending their own money to install solar systems. As a result, he says, helping the state avoid the costs in investing in this technology.
Rates would be even higher than what they are now if rooftop solar had not been present.
We asked the CPUC about this study. They pointed us to the Public Advocate's Office, which is their consumer advocacy arm. They say in their critique, quote, the study artificially inflates the perceived benefits of solar production and ignores the reality of cost shifting to non-solar customers. In their response to concerns about the proposal decreasing incentives to solar customers, the CPUC tells ABC10, quote, the main driver behind increasing residential retail rates is wildfire mitigation costs, like vegetation management. This is driving up the overall revenue requirement, or the total amount of costs that utilities collect from customers to provide electrical service. PG&E declined to comment on the CPUC's proposal. Overall, experts say if customers are no longer incentivized to sell their extra solar to the utilities, the only recourse they have is to store it in batteries.
Is there still incentive to go solar?
I think there is, especially if you can afford a battery with it. But we need to start looking at whether or not the law should be changed so that communities or even neighborhoods could go solar together, pool their money for a battery, and frankly, leave the utility entirely.
If you are a solar customer and are not happy about this proposal, there are things you can do. Contact your elected officials at the state level. Let them know how you feel and what your concerns are. Keep in mind, the CPUC also takes public comment at their monthly meetings. We do have links to that on our website, abc10.com.
I do have one question for you before we let you go here. When could people really start to see some of those changes to their incentives?
Yeah, it's a great question, Alex. We have not heard of the CPUC scheduling any kind of formal hearing or a vote specifically for these changes proposed in this story. But we are also keeping an eye on a bill in the legislature that could impact solar incentives for customers who signed up for solar before April 2023. Now, there's a lot of movement happening behind the scenes, and we will be following it in the months to come.
All right, Laura, thank you so much. And I want to mention, if you want to see more reporting from ABC10's Laura Painter, check out her series Dollars and Cents on the ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can watch specials about setting creative financial goals and ways to save. Find Dollars and Cents under the news section. The ABC10 Plus streaming app is free to download to your TV.
We know in a fire, every second counts. And during a major one in South Stockton almost 2 weeks ago, one problem caused delays in getting water onto raging flames.
Yeah, and it's now a topic of discussion at City Hall. ABC10's Gabriel Porras has more.
A yellow fire hydrant sits outside South Stockton's Morris Market, but it offers a little comfort. Employee Abel Macias.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Reacting to the challenges fire crews say they faced when battling an April 2nd fire at a recycling plant a block away.
Unfortunately, the public fire hydrant across the street turned out to be non-operable. The next hydrant that we attempted to hook up to was also found to be out of service.
A third private fire hydrant in the area was also broken.
When you have homeless tapping into fire hydrants to get, what they need to survive is water, they tend to wear out some of these hydrants.
It's not just a south side issue. Here in downtown, this fire hydrant is also broken. According to a city inspection just a few months ago, there are at least 23 broken fire hydrants across town. But fire officials say that number is more of a snapshot in time.
If there's a homeless encampment or our car comes by and bumps a fire hydrant or a truck bumps a fire hydrant, that snapshot in time is thrown out the window.
And so is an entire neighborhood's fire preparedness.
Well, it makes me worried because what if my house is on fire and then there's no one to put water in my house? Yeah, that's crazy.
The issue up for discussion during Tuesday's city council meeting. In a statement, Stockton's vice mayor called for immediate solutions. With his own fire safety now in question, Abel agrees.
Yeah, they need to step it up, find a solution.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Now, keep in mind the discussion tomorrow does not require any action from City Council, but they do expect to provide some type of direction after the meeting. It'll cost almost $400,000 to replace the fire hydrants. Well, a challenge could have stopped her as a child, but Alicia Nelson never gave up, and what she's doing today might just surprise you.
As ABC 10's Luke Clary shows, during this Limb Loss Awareness Month, her journey is truly inspiring.
When patients go in for an x-ray at Shriners Children's Northern California, they're in Tech Alicia Nelson's capable hands. They might not even notice one of them is a prosthetic.
I had my prosthetic arm since I was 3 years old, so it's just been a part of my life. I move my body with my arm, so it kind of keeps you more equal.
Born without a lower right arm, she connects with patients at Shriners on a deeper level.
I lived in Iowa, and the Shriners van would actually come pick my mom and I up and drive us to the closest Shriners, which was in Chicago. And when I was 3 years old, I was one of the first kids to ever have a myoelectric, the robot arm. And then I was lucky because when I went to Shriners, I was able to see that there were other kids just like me. And we just played together like normal kids, and it was fine.
The technology has come a long way since then.
But I remember vividly, I was at my grandparents' house and I totally broke this off. And then I was like...
Today, Shriners is known for treating some of the most complex limb differences in children. A team of skilled technicians designs, builds, and fits custom prosthetics for infants, teens, and young adults.
I can put my elbow through.
Alicia has another trick up her sleeve.
And then it makes my body position better because...
This adapted water ski handle, giving her the edge in her other life's passion.
This past year, 2024, I was crowned my 4-time Female Adaptive Athlete of the Year.
Today, Alicia holds the world record in slalom water skiing and national records in jump and trick skiing.
I'm pushing my limit. I have a couple girls that are after my world record this year, but I'm gonna keep it strong.
She's pushing herself and hopes to lift others too.
If I can inspire girls and other people to realize that you can be happy and just be yourself, then that means I did something good in this world, and I'd be happy with that.
In Sacramento, Luke Clary, ABC 10.
Great story, Luke. Thank you. Now, Alicia's defending her title as Women's Water Ski World Champion in November.
We are wishing you the best. And last year, Shriners Children's Hospital in Northern California delivered more than 5,000 prosthetics to patients.
We know that in news, stories are filled with challenges and hardships, but incredible things are happening every day, from neighbors helping neighbors to inspiring acts of kindness. Each week in our segment, Champions of Hope, we're sharing stories of people really making a difference. And with less than 1% of the 16.4 million Americans who served during World War II still with us today, tonight's Champion of Hope is Mario Espinosa, a proud veteran who just hit a really big milestone. Mario Espinoza never thought at 18 years old
You're in the Army now.
he would be drafted into the military.
I'd been farm labor for all my life up until I got into the service. We lived in tents, I slept on the ground. For a long time, we had nothing to eat but corn tortillas and boiled beans.
During World War II, Mario served as an ammunition carrier and sharpshooter.
20 pounds of ammunition on each hand.
He's also carried stories for a lifetime.
I got up and I started running, and jogging, run.
Even though he was drafted by war, he was driven by hope.
I made up my mind there that I would get a better job and I would go to school and learn the English language.
Decades later,
Happy birthday, dear Mario.
Another day he didn't think would happen. His 100th birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, sir.
It feels pretty good because, you know, I never thought I could make it this far.
His caretaker, friends, daughter,
Happy birthday.
granddaughter, and great-granddaughter celebrating the big milestone. After losing his uniform and medals,
This is a donation.
a birthday gift arrived. A moment to honor a life shaped by hard work, service, and the pursuit of something greater.
After seeing all that, makes me pretty proud of myself.
His secret to a long and happy life:
Exercise, sleep, and eat well.
and dance when you can. His advice for future generations:
Get educated and work hard so you can live a better life. Make it easy on yourself.
Mario says he's hoping to celebrate his 110th birthday, but in the meantime,
I want to go to a casino and hit $1 million machine.
don't we all, Mario? Happy birthday. And we know that there are so many more stories that are waiting to be told. If you know someone that's making a difference, of course, we would love to hear about it. You can share a story with us by emailing us at tothepoint@abc10.com.
It's pretty rare to see a farm in the middle of a bustling city, but every spring, for about 6 to 8 weeks, a field full of flowers just north of San Diego explodes with color in the coastal city of Carlsbad. And for about 6 to 8 weeks, social media influencers and their photographers line up to take their next viral posts.
The Instagram app was probably the best thing that ever happened to us, because people will come here and take photos upon photos upon photos.
Paul Ecke III is co-owner of the flower fields in Carlsbad, a family-run farm and agritourism business.
This is just bursting with color right now.
Yes.
What are these?
These are called ranunculus. Don't ask me to spell it.
The ranunculus, also known as the Persian buttercup, is a popular flower in floral arrangements, and this field is one of the largest ranunculus fields in California.
So this is a working farm. So we sell the corms, which are underneath like a bulb, and we also sell cut flowers. And so today we're harvesting cut flowers.
The ranunculus is what Paul grows today, but when his German grandfather and great-grandfather started farming in Los Angeles in the early 1900s, they ended up growing and selling a different kind of flower.
They noticed around their little town that the Mexican households had a plant called poinsettia.
The poinsettia has a long history in Mexican culture and is often gifted to loved ones during the Christmas season. Paul's grandfather and later his father were among the first to corner the poinsettia market. In the 1950s, the family moved to Carlsbad to expand the business and breed different varieties. His grandfather even gave the flower its signature nickname.
He decided it was a Christmas flower, and just like the Easter lilies, just like roses are known for Valentine's Day, poinsettias are known for Christmas.
In the late 1960s, the Ecke family started leasing their land to grow ranunculus, but by the 1990s, their small 100-acre farm couldn't produce enough flowers to be profitable.
We realized we couldn't really make money on pure farming, even by selling cut flowers. It doesn't pay the bills. So we decided to open up for the public.
Today, Paul says over 300,000 people visit the flower fields every year, and they've expanded the activities.
and it needs soil just like so. It needs soil just like so.
Educating kids about agriculture is a big focus at the farm. Visitors can learn about pollinators in the butterfly exhibit, or they can pick their own blueberries.
This is so popular that we can only open 1 day a week, because when we open this up for the public, they will strip these things bare.
The flower fields would probably be worth a lot more had it been turned into a coastal housing development. But for 3 generations, the Ecke family has stayed true to their farming traditions and shared those traditions with the community.
Everybody that walks through here has a giant smile on their face.
From the flower fields in Carlsbad, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus this week. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartel's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartel's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.